What's up, guys? Jake here with another look at some of the figures we on this week. Today we're looking at the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Bat figure from Hasbro. Now, all right, so I had this guy for a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to do the review. I love the bats. That's one of my favorite army building for the whole line. And of course, this is probably what the 5th bat that they've come out with. Let's see here. They came out with the first one. Then they came out with the Python Patrol, the Crimson one, the very hard to get Arctic Bat, and then now this one, right? Of course, and I knew that this was going to come out as a retro card version. So, of course, I normally get like 6 of these, right? Or 5. I think I have 6 of them. But I couldn't do it, so I only got this one for now. I do get doubles, so I can basically have one to open, one to put in. Because I figured, at least with the retro cards, I can keep those and put them in and they can display. I don't know what I'm thinking. We'll see. I might not even do that anymore. I don't know. But anyway, I just couldn't help myself get this guy. Of course, there's still the green shirts. There's still Televiper. There's still CoverGirl. I still need those to get. So eventually, I was waiting for a cool Black Friday sale on the at least CoverGirl and Televiper, but they didn't do it. So anyway, I'll get those eventually. But anyway, like I said, I couldn't help myself. I had to get the new bat. And here he is in that retro style card. Looks, I am getting, some vibe of the retro look. Of course, they changed up the way it is, compared to what the original looked like. This one is actually better than Flint. But you can tell, it looks really cool. I like it, And of course, here's this big old, blister card with all his accessories, different heads. Looks really nice. Actually, I'm really looking forward to opening this. Of course, like I said, I have so many bats. It's just batty. On the back, you can see here his bio in different languages, and of course cross-sell with the other troop builder, which I'll eventually get. Of course, I'm in no rush anymore. Like I used to always rush and get all these figures, but I'm like, I can wait. It doesn't matter. Well, I think getting them on sale. Like it's so funny. I did get the Vipers and Snow Serpents on pretty cheap one time, so maybe I'll wait and get a couple more of these when they go on sale. We'll see. But anyway, let's get this guy out of the packaging and get a closer look at the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Bats figure. All right, here's Retro Bat out of the packaging. Looking awesome. I mean, you've seen a bat, you've seen them all, right? So the thing about this one, I think, is they decided to do, of course, was the colors are a lot more brighter than the other one, the original one. And I will probably get one out to do a comparison. I've had them posed already, so, it's no rush. But, I definitely, like I said, I like the bat. It's one of my favorites. So definitely was, down to get this one. And like I said, I don't mind different bats, I just wish they released more Arctic bats. I have 3 of them. I want two or four more. So I don't know. Hopefully we get more of those. That's one that's interesting, how that one has been so hard to get. But anyway, so let's get a closer look at this version. He's got that red face plated. His mask is red, just like the original character, the original toy. And like I said, this yellow that's on him is very bright, so it really stands out. You got the insides there, and then his belt, then his holster is brown, so, and then it goes down. Of course, the black is really nice. It's really pretty. It really stands out and stuff. And then, of course, the arms, pretty hard to move, which is cool. Look, I mean, wow, that looks really nice. It looks like the Terminator hand, right? Yeah, that's really stands out. So really neat. Has an ab crunch here, and then you got the Cobra signal here. Now this part is not double jointed. I don't think it is. Nope. but that's really cool. So, and then you got the legs, double jointed here, pinless. So the arms are only single jointed, you know, that's how it goes, you know. And then these boots are really bright yellow. So that's, I mean, he does stand out a lot compared to the other one, because I know that one was a, you know, like a duller yellow, duller yellow. So it does, you know, and of course the head sculpt was, I think it was black, right? Or silver? Yeah, silver. So, you know, this is really cool. A lot of people really wanted this one. So really, really cool. All right, so let's look at the accessories. Of course, you know, he does come with his regular stuff. I feel like I'm missing... Wait a minute. Oh, I knew thought I was missing something. Okay, so he does come with, of course, his claw. It's not articulated, which I thought would be cool. But this metallic, I mean, this silver finish on this looks really nice on it, though. It really stands out. And then he has his flamethrower, which already has kind of like the black on there. So that really is a nice detail, because after a while, you know, it does burn itself, right? And then you got the, I guess this is a laser, right? It looks almost like a freeze gun, kind of ray, right? And it has that blue in the middle. So they did some detailing on these compared to the original. And then, of course, he has his regular backpack where you store his stuff. So it's the same old thing. Nothing new on there. He's got his pistol, which is silver or gray. Not a whole lot to talk about there. He does come with some effects. First of all, his flame effect, which is kind of small and short, but I guess, and then his laser, I would say freeze, you know, effect, I guess. So if you know, kind of like that, and then of course the flame effect, which is cool. Which is a nice touch. It's a nice touch. Nice touch. I like that. You know, it adds more to it. And then of course it comes with 2 chest plates, 1 damaged, and then 1 regular, which is clear, which is exactly how the original figure was, and it just fits on there like that. And I think I lost the other helmet. I did. Good grief. I'm always losing stuff when I open these figures. Oh, here it is. Here's the battle damage. Also a helmet that, you know, we saw in the other figures. And this is really cool because you actually see the metal head, which is really neat. I don't remember that being on the others, so that's really, really cool. You got that cracking on the glass front, which is really neat. And then, of course, you got his stand, or the stand. It doesn't say Cobra Bat, which should, but it doesn't. So, yeah. All right, so let's get this guy. I'll do a comparison to the other bats that I have in my arsenal, just to take a look at, and then we'll do our final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Bat figure. All right, I wanted to do a comparison time with one other of the bats that came out, one of the first versions that we got. I remember I don't know how many years ago. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago when it came out. Like it was like an announcement. That one and Alley Viper, they just kind of sort of just came out. And then I remember it came out really early. I think it was in November of whatever year it was, 3 years ago. I guess 2022 or 2021. I don't remember. One of those years. But anyway, I was so excited to get that. They were both on eBay and they're like $200 each. And I was like, oh man, I nearly bit the bullet and got them, but I didn't. I think a couple of days later, they went on pre-order at GameStop, and I ordered them, both Alley Viper and the bats, and they came in within like a week, and people were pissed off that I got them. They were mad. I put it on my socials, and they were mad. They're like, we didn't get ours and you got yours. It was so funny. But anyway, so the original one is still one of my favorites of all time. I still have that cool memory of that. So I want to take a look at both of them because, you know, it's mainly more the colors, of course, As you can see, the original one that came out, the face is has a gray faceplate on it, and then of course the the weapons are like a dark, just a dark gray, and then you got kind of like an orangey orange color to everything else, including the boots and the belt and all that. So the new version, there's more of like a shine to his silver, as you can see here. And then of course you got the clear plate, which everybody wanted in the first place, I think. And we got this one, which was just basically, the black plate. But I still like this one a lot. Also, you can see the Cobra signal is, yellow with the Cobra signal, and then this is just basically painted orange. So, like I said, not much of a big, difference the way they made them. Of course, when they do trip builders, it's all about making extra money. So, but yeah, I just wanted to do a quick comparison on both before I do my final thoughts on this cool version of the bat, the retro bat. So we'll be right back with my final thoughts. All right, here are my final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Bat. All in all, I mean, it is a great figure. I do really enjoy these retro versions of the Troop Builders. Viper was pretty cool. Cobra Trooper was also pretty cool. So I haven't got Tele Viper yet. I'm going to try to get him hopefully this month. Trying to catch up on all these G.I. Joe Classified is kind of weird. Usually I grab them all, but, Mondo has taken up a lot of my, funds for toys. So, but anyway, I definitely going to pick up a few more of these. I got this guy off Amazon. They were $24.99, and now I'm seeing it at $27.99. The prices have gone up, so it's kind of crazy and this whole pricing. But hopefully they'll put a sale, just like they did the Troopers. The Trooper, yeah, today, in fact, they had the Trooper for $14.99. So I grabbed a couple of more, and I was able to get Snow Serpent and the Vipers also when they did a sale on them. So hopefully this one, I can get a few more. I think I want like at least 4, because I just love the bat. And this one is gorgeous. I mean, I still love my original one, the first version, because I think this one is still iconic in a very rich way. I think it's, still looks really cool. It's still one of my favorite classified figures. But I think this one is a great update because of the coloring and everything. And I was going to compare it to the Super 7 version, the colors and everything, but I have those up displayed and I didn't feel like grabbing them. But, all in all, this is a great figure to pick up. Am I going to get the green shirts? Yeah, I will. I just, like I said, I mean, Mondo has been killing it with their pre-orders. I just recently pre-ordered the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Donatello figure. And then now we got the Skeletor 2000X figure to pre-order. And then also I think Robin has shown up. So I might grab that one. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy, But I don't know. I mean, you only live once, right? So that's all I can say about collecting. But anyway, do you guys collect the retro line? What do you think of the retro line? Like I said, I've been back and forth with them. I've been kind of like, in a sense, this is what we want in the beginning. But obviously, like, Hasbro's going to try to make money. So they definitely made a lot of money with the original bats. And of course, there's so many different bats. I really wonder, I only have 3 Arctic bats. I want a few more. I really wonder if those pre-orders for next year are going to come through. I really wonder, because that's probably, a lot of people really want the Arctic bat. And I think considering that they're doing this Arctic theme, with the figures this upcoming year, with the HasLab and some of the other stuff, I think, and then the Arctic His tank is also coming. I wonder if we're going to get more of these Arctic bats so we can get more of the army. I'm pretty sure. Well, anyway, all right, so let me know what you think in the comments, and until next time, we will see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe.